Thank you for doing such a good job as our MC. Your Excellencies, my colleague Elias Center, members of the diplomatic community, the business community, our religious leaders, ladies and gentlemen, mesdames et messieurs. I'm sorry I was late. I was waiting for the LRT and it didn't show up. But I've only been given 3 to 4 hours to speak. So no, not. I'm just joking about that. But I do want to be here because I very much admire the work of Mr. Assali and his company. And I love the logo that they've developed, 2 puzzle pieces with the Lebanese flag and the Canadian flag coming together. And I think there's no greater example of the true integration of 2 cultures and 2 communities as we have such a vibrant and dynamic and successful Lebanese-Canadian community here in Ottawa. And it's a pleasure to be here to join you as we celebrate the 15th edition of the Business Guide, where it gives you an idea of some of the wide range of businesses that Lebanese-Canadian community members are involved with. And Tawfiq, thank you very much for including me 5 years ago, and thank you for including me today. You know, just last week on Friday, less than a week ago, we celebrated quite a milestone in Ottawa's history as we reached the 1 million population plateau. And that was something that we should be very, very proud of. There are only 3 other cities in Canada that have 1 million. Toronto, of course, Montreal, and Calgary, and we join those cities. I'm also pleased that so many former ambassadors and the current ambassador is with us here today. We've always had strong relations with the embassy, and we thank you for being here, and we thank you for your service in years gone by. I know that many of you have come from out of town, and it's my honor as the mayor to welcome you and join my colleague Eli and my former colleague Michael. Michael used to pretend he was a member of the Lebanese caucus at City Hall, and we let him do that. But Eli and, of course, George DeRuse, many of you know, and Michael were always great supporters of Lebanon, the Lebanese festival, and all things, including your community. This gala brings together business leaders, as I mentioned, and one of the priorities I set when I had the honor of being elected mayor many years ago was that we have to do whatever we can to roll out the red carpet and not the red tape. And sometimes it can be frustrating, you know, fighting City Hall or dealing with City Hall, but we've seen some great improvements over the last couple of years. I know, for instance, Eli is responsible for chairing the Council of BIAs, the Business Improvement Areas. And I think, Eli, I apologize, I missed the last meeting, but almost every meeting there's a list of 5 or 6 or 7 or 10 things that we've done to make it easier for business people to operate in Ottawa. Just recently, in our recent budget, we cut in half by 50% the patio fees for restaurants. So if you have a restaurant and you have a patio that encroaches onto the sidewalk, you're paying 50% less. So one pub chain, I think it's the Royal Oak, they're saving, I think, $16,000 this year. And that goes to their bottom line that they don't have to pay to the city. And so when I hear from business communities, what can we do to help you? Those are some of the tangible things, and our door is always open. If I'm not available, I know Eli or other members of council can certainly talk to you about any issues that you have with the city. But the reason why I think this directory is so important is it does show the success of the Lebanese-Canadian community right here in Ottawa. It's a very large, dynamic community, and I've had the pleasure of working with many of you in this room over a number of years on a wide variety of issues. And it's a generous community. I see that day in and day out at different fundraisers, and I think of our friends at Gabriel Pizza. I saw their ad up on the screen. They were the official pizza sponsor of our sesquicentennial celebrations in 2017. Their generosity knows no bounds, and George Hanna and his group do wonderful work. So in conclusion, I'd like to say thank you, Mr. Assali, for including me. Thank you for your confidence in the local economy to continue to publish for 15 years. And I'd like to ask Eli and Mr. Assali and my colleague Michael to come up. We have a little certificate to present to you to commemorate this milestone of 15 years of wonderful service to community. Encore, merci beaucoup.